Skip did an outstanding job writing the column. It's no knock against him. He was just giving us facts, and there was nothing about it that was erroneous. It just gets on my nerves. That's all. I mean, they're the Cowboys. We understand that Tom Landry went to 5 Super Bowls. He won 2. We understand that they were relevant because at the time, you know, there were things going on in history and they played the role, got the Thanksgiving game and all of this other stuff. We also learned that Tom Landry didn't get along with ownership, gave them the cold shoulder, and that Jerry Jones could have easily been outbid. But the reason he got the ownership from his predecessor was because he made it very, very clear one of the first things he was going to do was be willing to fire Tom Landry. So these are nuggets of information that the average Joe did not know about the Dallas Cowboys, about Jerry Jones, about what he inherited, about why he took the team in the direction that he took it into. And I get all of that. And from an historical perspective, the Dallas Cowboys have their history. I find the Pittsburgh Steelers' history to be a bit more glorious, me personally. But at the same time, I understand. I guess the thing for me that makes me just want to throw up is the fact that the Dallas Cowboys are deemed relevant today. Skip talked about their 5 Super Bowl trips and the 2 Super Bowl victories. And then Jimmy Johnson and Jerry Jones take over, and there's 3 Super Bowl championships in 4 years. We heard all of this. Mm-hmm. What I like to look at is the last 17 years. And over the last 17 years, the Dallas Cowboys have a grand total of 1 playoff victory. In other words, they stink. They're a walking piece of mediocrity. They're a complete waste of our time. But because we live in a world of popularity, where being popular counts just as much as anything else, somehow, some way, they are deemed irrelevant with no credentials to validate their relevancy whatsoever. And for me, I just think it's disappointing. Because when I think of America, all right, and I think of the great nation that we're supposed to be, and I think about how we're supposed to be synonymous with greatness, being number 1, being champions, I find myself asking, how are the Dallas Cowboys relevant? I've asked Jerry Jones to sit down with me. Haven't heard back from him. Rich Dalrymple, the media relations director, hasn't returned my call. Skip. No. I'm looking for Stephen Jones. Listen, I'd like to talk to Stephen Jones. I'd like to talk to Tony Romo. I'd like to talk to Des Bryant. I'd like to talk to Troy Aikman, playmaker, Emmitt Smith. I'd like to talk to anybody that can make the case of the Dallas Cowboys being relevant outside of pundits like yourself, Skip, who you're not, and by the way, you're nothing short of a homer. Because for those of you who don't know anything geographically, the reason why the Cowboys were Skip's team is because he's from Oklahoma City, and obviously they don't have a pro team because the Oklahoma Sooners don't count. Yeah, so as a result, he's got to sit there. I'm talking about the NFL. So he's got to sit there, and that's the close local team, so he gravitates to them. But the fact is, they stink. 6-10, 8-8, 8-8, 8-8. 4 straight years, no playoffs. Just a waste of time. Just a waste of. Y'all go ahead and talk while I sit here and look at my computer and eat and drink some water. Because it makes no sense to me why we talk about the Cowboys. It really doesn't.
Go ahead.
It really doesn't.
Put your Beats headphones back on for all I care.
If I don't have them on me, I would. I would.
I want to get the perspective before I speak from a Pittsburgh Steeler. And again, your Steelers back in the 70s beat my Dallas Cowboys in 2 huge Super Bowls that could have made or broken either team as the team of the 70s. And Bradshaw and company beat Staubach and company narrowly twice. The floor is yours.
So this is what I will say. I'm an unrestricted free agent this year. The barbershop I go to in Louisiana is owned by a huge Pittsburgh Steeler fan.
Really?
So I'm getting my hair cut. There's a Dallas fan sitting across from me, and he's like, you know, man, we need some safeties. My barber tells me, he's like, you can go anywhere in the NFL, and I'll still cut your hair, but Dallas. And turns his back to me and says, this is what it'll look like when you walk into the barbershop. So, you know, that rivalry is still strong. Dallas is relevant, obviously because of history, but I think they become more relevant now because of the disarray that they're in, because of disappointment. The NFL is better if the Dallas Cowboys are relevant, if the Dallas Cowboys are in contention for championships.
Yep.
That's what people want to see. It's almost like the NBA is better, just not only to me because I'm a Laker fan, when the Lakers are in the running.
Wisdom.
Or when the Boston Celtics are in the running.
Right.
Because that's what people grew up with. That's how we know the NFL, the Dallas Cowboys, the Pittsburgh Steelers, even the Raiders were in that mix.
They were.
You know what I mean? So those things are important. But now we talk about them more for disappointment. We talk about them for disarray, for the organization not having a pattern, for the organization not having a vision of what they want to be. Each year it changes. You know, we don't know if we want Bill Callahan to call plays, or we want Scott Linehan to call plays, or we want Jason Garrett to call plays, or can Jason Garrett even pick his coaches that he wants? Jerry Jones being so much in the mix, you know, and so we pay attention to him more now for entertainment and not football. And I think what the Dallas Cowboys need to do is get back to worrying about football, worrying about winning, and not being so relevant to the people as far as entertainment.
He's taking us to our next topic,
Ryan
but I'm
and
going to let
Skip,
you go.
Ryan and Skip, quick question, Ryan and Skip. Two-part. Did we just finish saying that the NFL is king? Yes or no?
Yes.
Didn't we also recognize that the Dallas Cowboys haven't been in the postseason for 4 years?
Yes.
But they still king. I'm just saying. Y'all go ahead.